Hey, Isaiah. I just wanted to ask if you could kind of break down your touchdown catch from yesterday. It seemed like Tua kind of bought some time on the bootleg and found you on the side. So what happened from your perspective?
Yeah. It was weird because I hadn't ripped that play all week. It's just something that we put in the game plan, and it was for Jalen, but he was cramping and everything. So they trusted me to go in there and know what to do, and we went out there and executed. But the Giants actually covered it pretty well. Tua did an extremely good job of buying some time and kind of deceiving the defense with his eyes a little bit, and gave me enough time to foil back right at the front pylon, and he threw a great ball, and I was able to make the catch.
Yeah, you said that y'all said you didn't rep that play like personally, physically. Is that just one of those cases where during the week you just kind of got to stay locked in and kind of mentally rep it, or what?
Yeah, for sure. And throughout the week, we have a ton of things that we put into the game plan. So a lot of times you may not get to rep something per se. It might have to be just a visual intake of taking that in, digesting it, and understanding like what would you do if you're in that situation or something like that. And you never know. Like just like I think the Sunday was a good case of that. Like you never know when your number's going to be called. You have to be ready to perform and execute.
Thank you.
Travis.
Hey, Isaiah. Good morning, man. So Coach Flo said yesterday that on the bye week, he hopes you guys kind of go home and put your feet up a little bit. Landon said he watches football when he has some downtime. X said the same thing, but also some family time. When you get a chance to go home, is it Netflix? Do you hop on the sticks or watch some football? What's your leisurely activity of choice?
Yeah, I play video games a lot, so I'll probably play the game a little bit, catch up on some sleep. But I love watching football. I love being around the game of football. So anytime football is on, I'll always be glued to the TV.
Do you game with any guys on the team?
Me and Preston, we play Call of Duty a good amount. We haven't been playing as much as we did last year, but I'm sure we'll catch up on some hours of playing the game this week.
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
Joe?
Hey there, Isaiah. I was looking at the stat sheet and I noticed that you and Matt Collins have a total of 6 touchdown catches this season, even though you're obviously not among the team leaders in offensive snaps. I was wondering, what are your thoughts on Mac in observing him in terms of how he approaches when he gets offensive snaps, and maybe even like how he positions his body or creates separation? What are your thoughts on Mac?
Yeah, I think Mac is the ultimate pro, and in the terms of the way he takes care of himself, the way he takes care of his body, the way he practices, the way he studies, his practice habits, everything about him. He's very routine and detailed, and I think that we see that on the field because it's second nature to him. We've seen him make those plays, whether it be in practice or in camp or whatever the case is. So when he's in the game and he's making touchdowns and things like that, it's not really a surprise to anybody.
Thanks.
David?
Hey, Isaiah, I wanted to ask you, what was it like having Devontae Parker back out there with you guys yesterday? He had some big catches on the sideline. We see him bodying up some receivers and toe tapping a couple times. So what was it like just having his presence back out there?
Yeah, it was really good. Devontae is our guy. When he's going, everybody's feeding off of him. Everybody's feeling his energy, and it drives everyone else to play better as well. So he's a special player. Has extremely good body control, ball skills, and everything like that. So just watching him make those plays, we've all seen those make those plays. We expect him to make those plays. So it was good for him to be out there.
I guess on the other side, you guys are still waiting on Will Fuller to come back. What have you seen out of him in the facilities during this whole rehab process for him?
He's been working hard when he's been in the training room, just trying to get back. I think that's really all he can do right now is take his time, and when he's ready, he'll join us.
Omar?
Hey, wanted to ask you about offensive linemen have told me that they do Pilates on their day off on Tuesday. One, have you ever done the Pilates? And if so, what does the session do for you when you do it at the facility?
Yeah, so Kenny Stills was actually a guy that took me under his wing when I got into the league, and he introduced me to Pilates. and I was always having like lower back problems or hip aching and things like that. So I think it works on all the small muscle groupings in your body, whether that be around your hips, around your knees, quads, hamstrings, all those little things, and making sure that everything is functioning properly and in line. And I think that's a big thing, especially when you're playing a contact sport like this one, to make sure that everything is in line and in order and functioning properly. So that's the biggest thing that Pilates has helped me with this year.
So you do the sessions on Tuesday?
Yeah. So I did it this off season, the last few off seasons, and then every Tuesday I do the sessions as well here.
A question for you. I'm assuming there's just one reformer in the room, because I guess it's like a solo appointment thing.
Yeah.
Like, why don't they put more than one reformer in the room?
I think it's better. It's more intimate when it's just a one-on-one session. When there's a class, she kind of has to focus on multiple people at a time, and it's a general thing that maybe my workouts might be a little more specific than, say, Dieter's are, So I think that's always a special thing when I can be one-on-one and be intimate and have a really detailed session.
And if I could just ask one more question on the topic, I'm assuming it's an hour session, right? Or is it? Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Travis.
Isaiah, your career's obviously taken a pretty circuitous route to this point. And now that you're kind of contributing during this winning streak in big ways with touchdowns and some big plays, just wanted to know if you kind of have a different level of appreciation for it, or what it means to you to be contributing to this team now after the path you took to get here.
Yeah, I never take any moment for granted, just because of the route that my career has been on, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, and all those things. So I continue to try to control the things that I can control, put one foot in front of the other, and continue to try to perfect my craft and get better every day. And when those opportunities come and I'm able to take advantage of them, it's rewarding. But to ultimately help this team win games and kind of get going in the right direction is nice.
Hal.
Yeah, Isaiah, Travis kind of took part of my question from me. I was looking up the stats, and I couldn't help but notice you have 11 targets this year, yet you have 2 touchdowns. You played 14 snaps yesterday, and yet you produce a touchdown there. If you could just describe how you're able to maximize the playing time you get, what does it take to make the most out of the opportunities that you do get?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is being mentally prepared. There's times where you may not go in for an entire quarter or an entire half, and it can be, you can be very easily discouraged by the way the game goes or by the way the game plan's going, or a myriad of different things. But I think just having a mental strength to stay locked in and to stay ready for when your time's called, because you never know when your time's going to be called. It may not be called that game, or it may be one play later, but my job on this team is to be ready when my number's called, and to go out there and ultimately produce. So I've just tried to do that, stay ready.
You've had so many twists and turns in your career. Was there ever a time that you were discouraged?
Yeah, I think coming into the league as a 21-year-old kid, with this being the real first piece of adversity that I've ever had to go through, there was a lot of times where I was discouraged or depressed or a little bit, or, just a lot of unknown or uncertainty that I had to deal with. But it's helped me mature and become a better person because of the things that I've had to endure and overcome, and just continue to control the things that I can. Ultimately, it's put me in a better headspace.
Was there one person or one thing that helped you get over that hump?
I think it was a collective. I have a really good group of mentors, Kenny Stills, Albert Wilson, Alan Hearns, Bryce Butler is another guy that all guys have been in similar situations and they've overcome them. So talking to those guys, been to those guys, as well as my family, has ultimately helped me kind of always reset and relock back in when I need to.